hitting balls, cradling balls. With so many sports out there, which is worth your time? Well, let's discuss which sports are cash and which sports are trash.
Get to it.
Starting out with baseball, America's
ass. I sat through that shit for hours.
national pastime. They came up with that slogan when black people weren't allowed to play, so I don't think it still applies. Baseball is overall dying as a sport. The median age of a fan is 57. 57 is the average viewer. You know why? Because it's fucking boring. What is
It's ass as fuck. That honestly, only thing worse than that shit probably golf. And Tiger Woods not even hitting that shit the same.
right field even do when there's a right-handed hitter? Text their side piece. The only thing I'm catching is these feelings. This is why we need to bring back steroids to baseball. If your neck is under 12 inches, you shouldn't even be allowed in the field. And yeah, your balls may shrink, but all that means is you're less vulnerable to. So until they bring back roids, baseball is trash. Next up, soccer. Now I'm just gonna
good as fuck. High key good in the motherfucker. It's hard to watch on TV. In person, shit lit.
Right out and say it. Soccer is trash.
Damn.
Offense is the most exciting aspect of any sport. Think about the jubilation after an announcer yells,
Bro, shut the fuck up. What the fuck? Is this real? Oh, he really did. Ah, no.
Such a great feeling. Yeah, but 9% of all games end in 0-0. Soccer has literally the easiest fix too. All you need to do is cut the field in half. It'll greatly increase the amount of goals and make you feel more excited when the ball's in play. Why would he make changes the most popular sport? It's only popular because it's cheap to play. Ethiopia is only worth 15 coconuts. They can't afford hockey pads. Next up, NASCAR.
Oh my god. I think soccer is lit though, but he right though. All them games ending in 0-0 and then y'all gotta have a kickoff at the end. That shit lame as fuck.
NASCAR is like the Special Olympics. You're not watching it for the race. Driving over 200 miles per hour is exciting. Not when you're just going in a circle, oval, whatever. The point is, there's so many better ways to race, whether it's formula, sport, drift, rally, off-road, war. Race war! So until NASCAR goes the Hot Wheels route and starts adding some loops, it's trash. Next.
That's real as fuck. What the fuck are we doing? The whole Fast and Furious franchise is based off motherfuckers racing through traffic. Like, and then it got cool and they started adding like weapons and shit. Helicopter. I love that coppers. What the fuck is coppers? But yeah, no, that shit ass.
Next up, football. Probably the best sport if you love concussions. We were complaining before about the lack of offense, but football has only been increasing its offense by taking out all the hard hits. Exactly. Nowadays, a quarterback is like a virgin. You want to get rough, but all you can do is lightly touch, which is ridiculous. Sure, CTE has caused a few husbands to kill their wives, but only like 3 to 4. That's not that bad, considering how many football players are out there. All I'm saying is, how about we wait till we're in double-digit deaths before we start making rule changes? But football is still quite brutal, so it's cash.
That shit is good though. I just saw a game where a motherfucker did a front flip over the defender into the end zone. Like he did that shit like 5 yards from the end zone. He front flipped over and landed, and the shit was cold as fuck. These football players getting fucking crafty, dog.
If football isn't violent enough for you, then rugby may be up your alley. Rugby reminds me of gladiator games. Like over time, people advance and change a sport to make it safer for the competitors, but rugby's like, nah, f it, let's just keep fighting lions. Seriously, how the hell do these people not get injured on every play? You're running full sprint into someone with no pads. They're just built different. I guess so. If I stub my toe,
fucking Samoans out there.
I'm done for the day, let alone getting blasted in the sternum by this wildebeest. And who knows what the hell happens in a scrum? I'm assuming eye gouging and your mama jokes. Hey Billy, your mom's still a crack whore? She had a rough life, okay? Next up,
no, that's real as fuck. What the fuck is that shit? They be, they be all huddled up and shit. And I don't even understand all the fucking rules. I pretty much think that you can only throw the ball behind you to move it forward. And what does the goal even look like? I don't know, man. Whoever's watching that shit, explain that shit, bro. All 15 of y'all.
Basketball. Lots to love here, whether it's blocking shots, shooting from deep, or putting someone on a poster. How my balls smell? It's a good thing basketball exists, because these people are freaks. What do you mean, these people? NBA players. The average player is 6'6", with some as tall as 7'6". Like, what the hell do you do for your job if you're over 7 feet tall? Sit knees to chest in some office cubicle saying, well, have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
That is the shittiest fucking... Motherfucking IT professionals really be saying shit like that. Like, well, try to restart your computer. Motherfucker, do you have an actual solution?
Basketball is technically a non-contact sport, but just like prom, people be getting handsy. Which leads to the biggest downside of basketball, the fouls.
Draymond.
Fouls kill the flow and turn it into a glorified game of horse. And everyone who jokes about flopping in soccer hasn't seen basketball.
Aw, man.
Also, true story, while I was writing this, I Googled how many black coaches there were in the NBA, and it said, I quote, there are 14 blacks who are head coaches in the NBA. Definitely written by a white guy. Oh, 100%. I'm no expert in race relations, but I'm pretty sure they don't like to be referred to as the blacks. But
what the fuck is even that? Like, why did you whoever, like, Google, we need to be investigated. I ain't gonna lie, Google need to be investigated.
Basketball is still pretty entertaining, so it's cash. Next,
that shit cash as fuck. You dunking on a motherfucker, you crossing a motherfucker, step back, fouls, fights. That shit good.
Next up, the UFC.
Cash.
I'm honestly shocked this sport is relatively new, considering people love watching others get fucked up. The only thing I disagree with is the fact that there are rules. What do you mean I can't dick punch someone? This is a fight, isn't it? I could maybe understand eye gouging or biting, but aiming for a dude's balls is fighting 101. Maybe you'd get more women in your sport if you'd show them how vulnerable men really are. Ladies, the proper way to defend yourself is if you fake with the left and then uppercut the taint. The biggest downside to the UFC is some fights are over too quickly. It's like bringing home a supermodel and blowing your load too early. All that build-up for very little excitement. Still, having modern-day gladiator games is total cash.
That's real. That's real as fuck. The UFC is fire. Sometimes them shits do end fast as shit though. Them fights be over too damn fast sometimes. And don't let it be a pay-per-view. Oh, fuck you. I think y'all should just play around. No. Y'all should just play around for the first round or two. Just to make us feel good about paying for this shit. Like, don't knock his ass out. It's a new record. He knocked his ass out in 13 seconds. Why the fuck would you do that?
Next up, golf, where you basically have to be wealthy in order to play. Crazy to think that the best golfer of all time is a black guy. Why is that crazy? You think country clubs in the 90s were open to all race and genders? Look, Jim, a hole-in-one. As a spectator, golf is probably the worst sport. It's been around for hundreds of years, and there hasn't been one Happy Gilmore. Not one golfer has been like, hey, what if instead of you guys being dead silent, I don't know, you cheer? Even the announcer.
That's real as fuck. Shh. Shut the fuck up. Like, bro, what the hell? And then they might do a little snap or some shit. Like, bro.
Announcers are quiet. Like, bro, you're in a booth 30 yards away. You know they can't hear you, right? And if any sport needs hecklers, it's golf. Hey, Tiger, I hope this course fucks you like that car fucked up your leg. So until they add trash talking, golf is trash. And
that shit is ass as fuck. Golf is fucking ass. It's worse than baseball. I don't to me, golf is a fucking hobby. It's no different than fucking crocheting or some shit. Talking about we're just going against each other's points. Bowling is more entertaining than that shit.
Lastly, speaking of white people sports, hockey. I think we all know the best part about hockey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The punishment for fighting is
Get
so
in the
strange.
mix.
Like in every other sport, you'd get heavily fined, suspended, or even fired. But hockey is just like, hey, you guys go think about what you did for 2 minutes. I want to say it's because it's hard to do serious damage when you're slipping and sliding everywhere, but I've seen some bad injuries. Jimmy, pull up someone with a messed up face. Oh, no, I meant from hockey. Oof, that's rough. But disgusting or not, we all know effing people up is cash. So those are all the sports that either cash or trash. If I miss any, please.
Volleyball is cash. He didn't bring on volleyball, but it's cash. It's fucking cash.